You're standing on a balcony, third floor, maybe fourth, the railing is right there, solid, you're holding it. You are completely safe, and then out of nowhere your brain whispers something insane. Jump. Not in a dark way. Not because you want to, just this sudden intrusive little nudge that makes zero sense. And the worst part is you immediately look around to see if anyone noticed you just thought that. They didn't, but you feel guilty anyway. So what exactly is wrong with you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, researchers found this experience so common, they gave it a name: l'appel du vide, the call of the void. A 2012 study found that 50% of people who had never had suicidal thoughts still reported experiencing this exact sensation. Half of all people, standing on ledges, holding steering wheels, standing next to train platforms, your brain just casually suggests the most dangerous possible thing and then moves on like it didn't just do that. Here's where it gets interesting. Psychologists believe this isn't your brain malfunctioning. It's actually your brain checking in. Think about what your survival instinct does all day. It scans for threats. It runs worst-case scenarios. It is essentially a very anxious security guard who never clocks out. When you stand on that ledge, your brain registers danger and immediately starts calculating. It generates the thought of jumping not because it wants you to jump, but because it is desperately confirming that you do not want to. That nudge is your brain essentially asking, "Are we okay up here?" And the moment you feel the discomfort and step back, it gets the answer. Yes, we're good. Threat acknowledged, moving on. And here's what nobody tells you. The stronger that intrusive nudge feels, the more powerfully your survival instinct is actually working. That discomfort you feel is the proof. Now here's the layer that makes this even stranger. Research suggests that people who experience l'appel du vide more intensely tend to score higher on anxiety sensitivity, which sounds alarming until you understand what that actually means. Anxiety sensitivity just means your brain is faster at detecting and reacting to potential threats. You're not broken. You're running a more aggressive security system. Picture two people standing on the same balcony. Person A barely notices the height. Person B feels that nudge hard and grips the railing tighter. Person B's brain is not more dangerous. It is more switched on. It registered the threat faster, generated the warning louder, and got confirmation quicker. That intrusive thought is not a glitch. It is the alarm doing exactly what an alarm is supposed to do. And here's the open loop from earlier paying off. Remember how that study found 50% of people with zero history of dark thoughts experience this? Scientists initially expected the opposite. They expected only people with certain psychological profiles to report it. But the data kept coming back the same way. Ordinary people, stable people, standing on ledges and hearing that whisper. What they also found was that the people most disturbed by the thought, the ones who felt the guiltiest and most confused by it, were actually the least likely to ever act on anything, because that guilt and confusion is the sound of a brain that is deeply committed to keeping you alive. The brain that should worry you is the one that hears nothing. So next time you're on a rooftop, or a tall bridge, or even just at the edge of a pool, and your brain sends that little impossible suggestion, you don't have to spiral. You don't have to wonder what that says about you. It says your threat detection is online. It says your survival instinct is paying attention. It says you are, in the most literal neurological sense, trying to stay alive without even trying. There's something almost funny about it when you think about it. The most human thing your brain does, the thing that's kept your ancestors alive across thousands of years of actual danger, is occasionally whispering the worst possible idea just to make sure you still hate it. And you do, which means it worked. If this made you feel slightly better about your weird brain, subscribe. There's a lot more where that came from.